But we can see the stock market up on the screen here, and so I'm going to add you into the stock market, James, and you will be starting with a balance of 100,000 Jonos, and then we should be able to go like that. And I think everything is all set up. Okay, so, oh, it's freezing up. Sometimes Excel doesn't like the fact that I'm doing a lot of things at once. Uh, but I know this will pass in a second. But yeah, so I wanted to make something that wasn't just Dungeons and Dragons, so I made the name Tale Adventure Quest Story, and I was like, that sounds stupid enough to be on my stream. And
Did
then,
you ever think about naming it Tats instead? Tale Adventure Time Story?
um, no, I'd rather not have the copyright infringement.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, going off of that, if you need another class, I think Jake the Dog would be an interesting class, although that
I was
still might
thinking
be.
about some sort of shapeshifter. That would be interesting. But I think that'd be a weird situation because I feel like it would be a pretty big advantage to have that ability. So you'd kind of have to lose out in a lot of other statistics. But I don't know.
Maybe, like, I don't know if you do go over, like, maybe luck and charisma to go off that. Like, you had to be lucky enough to get what you wanted, like, the shape you wanted.
Yeah.
Or
Um,
charisma, like, you had
or
to be able to
perhaps
sell it and
perhaps
do that.
shapeshifter could be a species, and you could kind of just, but it would just like the only stat you'd be getting is the ability to shapeshift, but then you just lose a lot of other stuff to kind of even it out. I don't know. I'll toss it around. Okay, so the way the stock market is looking right now, red is at our lowest of all the stock at 120. Yellow is at a flat 200. Green is at 183, and blue is at 322 in value. So the general trends, blue went down kind of at the start, but ever since has been going pretty consistently upwards. And then the rest have kind of been battling, but in terms of the patterns, red has been pretty spastic just because in the middle I threw it my support, and then there was some weeks we didn't get too many votes, so it ended up getting a pretty big spike. And then green and yellow have been a pretty consistently upwards trend, but have been um, somewhat mellowed out. I think their trend kind of matches the rest of the market in terms of its slope. So, how do you want to split up your 100,000 Jonos? And by the way, you don't have to spend all of it if you don't want, because you can always reinvest later if you want to.
You know what? I'm feeling one red, one green, save the rest of my 100,000 Jonos.
Okay.
Wait, hold up. No, no, no. I'm sorry. I didn't do the math right in my head where it's like 200 and then 100,000.
Yeah, yeah. You could probably do a lot more of that if you want. If you want.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to do some mental math in my head.
I have a calculator here if you have any questions.
Um, I'm feeling. What would it put me at if I had 150 red, 150 green?
150 red. So red is 120. So 120 times
That'll put me
100.
over.
No, no, no. You have 100,000 to work with.
Oh,
So the red would only be 18,000, and then the you said green.
yep.
Green is 183 times 150, and then add those together. You would have that would be a little bit less than half of your money.
I like that.
Okay,
You know what?
so that
And one
is
one 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 blue, just one singular blue.
one singular blue. Just to say
One.
you bought it. That's the kind of The
Yeah.
so yellow is the one you're leaving at 0, and then red you're putting at 150, green you're putting at 150, and blue you're putting at 1. And so then we need to subtract 45,772 from 100,000. So we have 54228 left. And I'd say that's a pretty good investment strategy. At the moment, the stock market is pretty high um, from its original starting point. To give you some perspective, Megan is sitting atop the stock market right now with 462,000 Jonos. I'm right behind her with 412,000 Jonos. And then the next one below that is our equivalent of the S&P 500 uh, because it's his name is Even Steven, and he just bought out an even amount of stock at the start of it in each one. So he bought 250 stock from each color, and he currently has 206,000 Janos. So that means that the market has over doubled in value since the beginning of this endeavor, which doesn't really make it too much sense considering there's a completely random system of whether it goes up or down. But
That's pretty cool.
that's just the trend that's been happening. So we've had a significant amount of inflation. Um, but um,
Inflation always works.
yeah, right?
Yeah. Especially stagflation. Um,
Stackflation.
so in I don't know how long you're planning on running this, but in the end, are the Jonos redeemable?
I don't know. Maybe I can have something where there's like a prize for the victor, but at the
Could
moment,
like we could we rent you for a day or something?
I depends on the context, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. For right now, it's been running for 16 weeks, so you're buying in at week 16. Um, Maybe when it gets around to 52, I'll cut it and say that was the first season or something. But I think it'd be cool. I just wanted to have kind of a way for the guests to kind of keep um, involved in the stream even after they're off. But hopefully you'll be climbing up the stock market. But as of right now, I will say that um, your amount of stock compared to everyone else that has bought in is pretty low. But that's just because the market was pretty high when you wanted to buy in. So we'll see how it goes. But I
All right.
will say to those viewing that if you want to support James in his investments here, I'll put a link up in the corner so that you guys can click on that if you're not watching this live. But if you are watching this live, you can go over to my previous update video. I believe it was called General Update Tax Basics or something, because I was talking about how we were going to play this game. But seeing as we're pushing on almost 40 minutes, I think we're going to call this one done. So, is there anything you want to say to the stream before we sign off here, James?
Come play.
Okay.
That's all I got. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And good luck on the rest of your drive home.
Thanks.
All right. So we will be. Oh, I specifically will probably be seeing you tomorrow. I believe I have a couple friends that are also joining on to the game. But until then, goodbye.